Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, coming to you with this week's weekly roundup. This week is the week of June 17th, 2019, and the weekly roundup's going to start off with some shoutouts for people who won this week. There are a number of tournaments I couldn't find the results for, so apologies if I missed anybody, because I missed a lot of people. Like half the tournaments I wanted to cover, couldn't find who won. But that's the way it goes sometimes. Alright, starting off on the big stuff. At Origins, we had 2 expanded League Cups, Wednesday and Thursday. They were won by Frank. And see, there's the Frank we all know, Frank Perrick. And he was playing Gardeon on the second day, but this print off said Frank Peruiz. I'm guessing it was just a print error, but anyway, one of the Franks, either that's a typo or it was actually Frank Peruiz, won the Expanded League Cup on Wednesday at Origins, playing a Gardeon expanded deck. And then on Thursday, Grant Manley won their next Expanded League Cup, playing Bees. So, good job. Shoutouts, yay. The big news, though, was that the Origins special event was won by none other than Daniel Altavilla. So, goes down, doesn't quite count as a regional win for the record books, I don't think, but certainly boosts up Danny's CP total for the season. And he won it playing a ZapBeasts build. So that kind of makes me think that we're going to probably see an uptick in Zapdos play, but probably not to the extent that a win at a regionals would make us see. But I think had this not happened, Zapdos would have been a smaller portion of NAIC than it's going to end up being. Other than that, we had 2 Standard League Cups at Origins, and I searched and could not find who won them. So, boo, don't know. And then the other League Cups for the week that I was able to find, I found one in Texas and one in Missouri. In West Plains, where they do a great job making sure everybody, pretty much of everything from what I understand. But it got published, and the winner was Matt I want to say Cahalin, but Cahalin? The H comes before, not Cahalin, playing Jolteon Zapdos list. So he might have gotten some inspiration from Danny, or that just might be the deck that he likes to play. I don't know. And then in Waco, Texas, their Standard League Cup was won by James Edward, piloting a ZoroRoc or ZoroRoc Lycanroc list. It was definitely a teched out list. He played Driftbloom, he played Magcargo, he played Lola Ninetales, and he played like several one-ofs to sort of evolve Ditto into just the right attacker for the right situation. I don't think I remember seeing Persian in there, which is kind of strange to me, but what have you. So the tournaments that I couldn't find in the brief amount of time I was able to spend this morning looking stuff up. We have the 2 League Cups that came after the special event that were standard format at Origins. Don't know who won. Sorry, can't tell you. And then we have 6 different League Cups, and I'm just going to read off the locations and the stores. If any of you know anything, you can post it. We'll give a shout out. I'll even go next week because we're lighter on content next week. So I'll give a shout out next week to the people who won going into this week if I can hear about it. All right. So the places I don't know other than Origins, a League Cup in Coeur in Missouri at Fantasy Shop, Magelings League Cup in Columbia, Missouri, and then the rest of them are in Texas. So the CGG Cup in Dallas, don't know who won. the cup in Conroe where I was I talking bad about Conroe last week? I might have been. It was all in jest. Oh, right, for their challenge. We'll cover that again this week. But I don't know who won in Conroe. Don't know who won in Mothership Games there in Austin. And I don't know who won at Etten Games in Humble. So those are the cups I'd like information on. If you can get it to me, put in the doobly-doo, and I'll get it thrown into next week's video along with the congratulations for any League Cup wins. We've got a smaller number this week because things are sort of wrapping up until NAIC. But by next week we'll get to congratulate somebody for winning NAIC. Go Nate. And yeah. All right. So that's that. That's our weekly congrats, and we can move on to the next thing. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I just said it. Yes, Pokemon, you use cookies. That's fine. NAIC, the North American International Championships. This is, like I've said before, really, you could kind of just skip the rest of this video if you listened to last week's stuff and don't need to know about anything. But if you want to help me out and keep watching, cool. I'm not going to just copy-paste from last week. I'm not going to edit in. That actually probably be more work than just repeating it. And maybe I'll say something different that makes it seem cooler. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, North American International Championships. This is the big tournament. Like, Worlds is the big tournament as far as getting recognition, but NAIC is the biggest tournament of the year, every year since they've started having it. The most people show up. I honestly think that it's maybe more impressive to win NAIC than it is to win Worlds. But I can see arguments either way. Worlds is certainly a more stacked tournament, so... But anyway, big tournament, big deal. If you're not going there, you should be. Or you're like me and you just simply can't. I'm going to go next year. This is the one thing I want to make sure I go to next year, even though I'm kind of taking a slow year next year. All right. So now we're going to get in. We're going to talk... Oh my goodness. Are you going to say that? Is this going to be on every single... Oh, good Lord. Sorry, guys. That's my bad. I should have realized that was popping up on every single page, even though I had loaded some of them previously. We'll just click through when we get to it. And if you didn't notice last week, I forgot to mention it, but for those of you watching on YouTube, you can just click to your state down in the doobly-doo, and that'll flash you forward to the time where I start talking about your state. But for those of you watching live, we're going to go through all of it, and then I'm going to start playing PTCGO. And by the way, as a reminder, all new followers get a free PTCGO pack after I'm done talking about tournaments. So, yeah. All right. Starting with Oklahoma, because that's what I loaded first. We have One Stop Anime, just one tournament this week. One Stop Anime today, this evening. Registration starting at 5. It's just a league challenge there in Oklahoma City. We didn't get much turnout for Wizards yesterday, so I imagine that this is going to have a similar situation. We got enough to make the tournament. That was basically it. So, similar thing. If you're in OKC, this is a place you can go to practice a little bit leading up into NAIC. All the acronyms. Whee! But otherwise, yeah, should be good. Organizer listed as Joshua Self. Kind of surprised because most of the stuff there in the Oklahoma City area is hosted by Cena, but I saw Josh at the Stillwater tournament, and he was learning how to do things. I'm wondering if Cena is going to be on site to help out here, because this might be Josh's first tournament, or it might not be. I don't know. I can't say one way or the other, but either way, shout out to Josh for getting in on the TO side of things, helping us out here in Oklahoma. And then we'll move on right away. Good job, Josh. Moving on to Arkansas. So we have a league challenge in Rogers, and this is the one that's free. So if you can get to Rogers between 5:30 and 6:30 to register, free tournament, free chance at 15 CP. Derek does a good job. It's kind of a small store with a weird bathroom, but it's good. I liked it when I was there. Make it out if you can. Yes, cookies. All right, so also in Arkansas, in Van Buren, the Victini to Victory Challenge is going on this coming weekend. If you are going to NAIC, you're going to miss this. And if you're not, then maybe you should be, but otherwise, go here, play in Van Buren, Arkansas for a league challenge this weekend. Standard $5. Not going to look at the price every time. I don't know why I've been. Okay, and then moving over to Kansas, and then up, north. Northwest. North by Northwest. Yes. I'm crazy. On Sunday, we have a league challenge in Kansas, in Lawrence. And I want to say that's not the Anthony that does Wichita, but I'm probably wrong. Nah, I don't. We'll find out. If you go there, you'll find out. I can't remember Anthony's last name, and I'm not going to pause the video to look it up because I'm streaming live. So there is an Anthony. May or may not be the same Anthony as Wichita. I'm leaning toward thinking no, but... and there is a league challenge in Lawrence, not Wichita, but in Kansas nonetheless. I think that's the only thing in Kansas. And then we move straight into Missouri. So, once again, Springfield League Challenge with Jerry Latham. Go. It's going to be a small store. Let me know. Somebody tell me if the person who checks your deck is playing in the tournament or not. Because I want to find out if they've cleaned up their act. $5 tournament, so it's cheap to find out. Ask for your money back if you see the guy who did deck checks sit down and start playing. Or maybe they won't even do deck checks, in which case it's less of an issue. Well, it has to be less of an issue. So yeah, let me know if anything untoward goes on at Game Master there in Springfield, Missouri. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully they're going to be running a clean ship. As soon as I hear back that they're doing things well again, like they did the time I was there, I'm going to stop, beating this in. But until I hear something, I'm going to assume that we don't know for sure. Alright, get rid of this, because we know in Independence, Missouri, there is a league challenge going on. I didn't say what day the league challenge was at Game Master at Springfield. That one was on Friday. On Saturday, there's a league challenge at Independence at the Game Cafe. Also $5. Wait, was it $5? Yeah. Also standard. Do we have anything? So the only things... Oh, Game Master was expanded. That's worth noting. And also in Arkansas, their weekend challenge is expanded. Everything else on our list is standard. So I'll probably forget to be mentioning that because I'll feel like I'm just repeating the same words over and over. But if you want to play expanded, you can go here. You can go to Game Master in Springfield, or you can go to Big Kids That Play in Van Buren, Arkansas. Those are your three options for expanded in the sort of South Central U.S. area. Otherwise, you got to do the standard stuff. And then lastly, not lastly. What? This one? No? Alright. I may have failed to load this somehow, so we're going to do it now. I'll just put it right over the top of NAIC. The last thing in Missouri, it is still scheduled. It's also for Saturday the 22nd, so I'm guessing if you can make it to O'Fallon, that's a better bang for your buck to go to their League Cup than going out to Game Cafe in Independence, Missouri. But I don't know for sure, so that's on you to find out. As usual, links in the doobly-doo to look up all the tournaments. And also have a listing of the winners and the places that I don't have winners from for cups. I don't report winners and challenges because that'd be too much. Alright, now then, we'll move down into Texas. League Challenge tomorrow, that's Tuesday, at 6 p.m. in Bedford, Texas. If you want to go. I assume they do a great job. Get rid of this. Sci-Fi Factory in Keller, Texas. Same difference. From everything I've heard, Sci-Fi Factory is one of the bigger, better locations in and around the Dallas area, but that's not to say anything bad about any of the other locations. I just haven't heard a whole lot about most of Texas. So can't tell you one way or the other. Then in Conroe, Texas, Conroe, Texas. That's interesting. Last week, this said that they were going to be running it at 9 a.m. They've corrected it. They decided they did have to go to work after all, and so now it's going to actually be running at registration starting at 5 p.m. So let me fix that in my notes. Good to know. Okay. 5 p.m. on the 20th, which is Thursday, if my math is correct on calendar stuff. Yes, sir. And then, yes, cookies. In Dallas, we have the CGG Monthly League Challenge, Common Ground Games. Also, on the 20th, also registration starting in the evening, this time at 6 p.m., not 5:30. But it's more or less the same difference. What's that? I'll sign in. Are you going to take me where I told you to take me? No. Sign in. Again. There we go. Grimdark Games in San Antonio with a League Cup on Saturday. So this is one of those ones that you might want to actually go to. It's a League Cup. Wait, no, it's not. They canceled it. They decided they didn't want to compete with NAIC. I don't mind that at all. I assume we'll see something from them in July covering like a cup for the next season. So look forward to that then. Sorry if you had plans to go to the June 22nd League Cup there at Grimdark. Fingers crossed that Garner Games cancels their cup because I'm not going this weekend. Talked it over with the wife and we decided no. Description below, asks Nate. Are you wanting to see this description or are you wanting to know if there's a description in the video? I don't know. I should edit the description if that's what you're saying. I need more than just the words description below to answer your question, Nate. But I will update it with the word cancel with a bunch of exclamation marks. Nate says no, so I guess I've decided. I guess I've answered what he wanted to say, or he just doesn't like the word doobly-doo. I don't know which. Okay, Gardner Games League Challenge on Saturday at 11 a.m. That's something you can go to. I won't be there, but Boyd does a good job. His shop's pretty nice. It's small, but it's like homely small. So yeah, go out and support Boyd there in Denison, Texas, if you can and you want to. Okie dokie. In Longview, Texas, also on Saturday, there's another league challenge. So if you're not in the area to go to Garner Games in Denison, then you might go here to Three Sons Unlimited. Play league challenge there this coming weekend. And then on Sunday, it is still on the schedule. Makes me a little bit sad because I really like going to the Garner Games League Cups, but I can't go this weekend. Boyd hosting, so challenge there at Garner Games on Saturday, and then early at 9 a.m. registration starts for their League Cup. I say early because if I was leaving here, I'd have to leave by like 6 a.m. if not a little earlier. So yeah, League Challenge and League Cup back-to-back days. That's pretty cool. Avoids the complaint that some of our players pushing for points have had about, well, if I make top cut in the cup, I can't play in the challenge. Here you get to do both. And you no longer have the other cup to go to. So yeah, moving on. Yes, cookies. My goodness, Dragon's Lair with a league challenge on Sunday. That's there in Austin. So if you're gonna go to this, you probably wouldn't make it to Garner Games anyway because it's a long ways away. But just know if you're sort of in the middle, there's a League Cup up in Garner Games instead of this challenge down in Austin. I assume both will be held well. Okay, Humboldt, Texas, Etten. Last week they had a League Cup. This Sunday they will be having a League Challenge. You know what, let me make sure everything... I'm going to click back through everything we've looked at just to make sure nothing says canceled. This is the Grimdark Games one we already talked about. Yeah, okay. Everything's still on. Dragon's Lair. Let's throw those together. Still on. Etten still going in Humboldt, Texas. Their league challenge this week. And then we've only got this one and one more in Tyler, Texas. June 23rd. That's Sunday again. League Cup. So if you're in Texas and you want to do a League Cup on the last day that you can, because you're not going to NAIC, because you can't afford to, I don't know. Here's another option. So you can either go out to Tyler, play in their League Cup, or you can go to Gardner Games. Probably can't do both unless you've got like magical teleportation abilities and you bust out of the Gardner Games one way too early. But yeah, those are your options for cups in Texas. And then we round it out with the Fat Cats and Kittens League Challenge. Again, 23rd, that's Sunday in San Angelo, Texas. So that's it. That wraps up our weekly roundup this week. Shout out to all the winners that I mentioned in the beginning. Thank you for tuning in. This is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, signing off.